Hey Jay, today is May 7th, 2013. I'm Quentin, here with my co-host Luke.
It's officially National Teacher Day today, so take the time to say a quick thank you. You know what else I'm thankful for? Sports. We have a lot going on tonight, including a couple of senior nights, so let's send it to Lucas.
Thanks, guys. Tonight in J Sports, we have boys varsity golf at Southern Wales High School at 4:30, boys varsity baseball at home versus Monroe Central at 5, boys and girls track and field versus Muncie Central at 5. It's senior night. Girls varsity softball versus Blackford at home at 5. Girls varsity tennis versus Randolph Southern at 5. It's senior night for that also. And boys JV baseball at Blackford High School at 5. Girls JV softball at Blackford High School at 5. And the Pacers will try to win another game tonight in the New York against the Knicks. Let's send it back to the hosts.
Well, thank you, Lucas. The Arts Place is giving summer music lessons. Call the Arts Place at 260-726-4809.
The culinary arts class will be selling mints for graduation. If you would like some, please turn your orders into Mrs. Myers.
So let's send it over to Chloe to find out more about Golden Girls and Guy.
Thanks, guys. As you know, for the past few years, Mrs. Golden and her sewing classes have been very generous. They have been donating blankets to the Pregnancy Care Center here in Portland. We should all give Mrs. Golden and her classes some recognition for that. Well, guys, before I send it back to the hosts, here's a little insight on what they have been working on.
Good morning. Today, my name is Florine Golden, and I am with Patty Johnston from the Portland Pregnancy Care Center, and we are ready to present another load of blankets. Patty?
Well, you know what? We're about out of the ones we got a month or so ago, so this is great, and I'm so glad to be invited back today.
About a month or so ago, we sent 30 blankets, and this time we have 12 blankets to send that these kids put together. And what our students do is in sewing 2, 3, and 4, they do a piece blanket, and then another one we call it's a rag blanket, and then our fourth year students do an actual quilted type piece blanket that are donated to the Pregnancy Care Center, and these are given to young ladies in our community. And who all is able to pick up one of these blankets?
Well, we would give one to a mom who's had a pregnancy test and it's a positive, so getting a blanket just helps her remember, she's carrying a baby and to take care of herself, and how awesome it is that somebody made that just for her child. And if a mom comes in that has a new baby and is just going to be a client for materials, she would get one also for her child.
I know I've been at Walmart different times here in town, and our young mothers, and they'll come up to me and they'll have their babies in their blankets in the cart, pushing along, and say, Miss Golden, we were able to get one of your blankets, which is it really makes you have a good feeling to know that our kids are giving back to the community and giving to people that a lot of times they don't have as much, and they're just tickled to death to have such a beautiful blanket.
And that's true. And whenever they're out on the shelf and the girls pick one out, we always tell them that Mrs. Golden's class did it, and they're like, oh man, my sister was in that class, or one of my friends. So there's a connection from before and then during, and that will be a blanket that I think they'll put like in their baby's chest to keep till they're older.
I know my oldest daughter's 30 years old, and one of my students from this high school made her a blanket and brought it to me when I was home on leave, and I still have that blanket, and I covered it 3 times. And now it's in rags again. And one day I hope to give it to my daughter when she's able to have children, give her the baby blanket one of my high school students gave me. So they do mean a lot. I don't know if you guys realize how much they mean, but they do. But now we're going to start with our presentations, and we'll start with our first one. And I'll let you do the talking, and the kids will do their presentation of their blanket to you. Okay. This first one is a young lady that's in her 2nd year of sewing.
And do you want me to hold this?
Yes.
Okay. And then this would be Abigail. So how about you hand those to her, and then I can shake her hand. Abigail, thank you so much. It's beautiful. And then we have Alexis. And Alexis has 2 of them right now to give to us. Hey, thanks, Alexis. And she's got pink, so I guess they'll be chosen by the mom who knows she's having a girl. Thank you very much. And Jessica. Jessica, I think you've made one last year and then this year, right? Yeah. Thank you very much. Boy, that's nice and bright. And here's your certificate. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, dear.
And these are so beautiful and bright and cheery. And you know, sometimes when you're waiting to have a baby or just after, sometimes it's not cheery every day. So this helps keep everybody happy. And then we have Sarah. And Sarah, thank you very much. Now, she has 2 right here, but I think you've probably given 2 or 3 already, haven't you?
Maybe like 7.
Or yeah, this is her 4th year, I think, of sewing. So, yes, you could have a whole family of babies that you've helped, and we thank you very, very much. And Jonathan, there you go. Thank you. And you ought to look. This one is little squares. So, how long does it take to make something like that?
8 hours, maybe.
Wow. Well, if you know how to sew, I don't even think I could get them cut out straight to have it. Thank you, Jonathan, very much. There we go.
Okay, what I'd like to stress, Patty, is if our kids with a 3rd-year blanket would bring it up. Jessica, would you bring a blanket up real quick? Okay, and then bring our 2nd-year blanket up, Abigail. Okay, what we have are 3 different levels of blankets here. Abigail, hold yours up. See, this is just a piece blanket where there are 2 opposite colors, and then she's knotted it. And this is what each student does when they're in their 2nd year of the sewing class. Then when they're in the 3rd year, as Alexis has, we call this our rag blanket. The blanket's put together, and then each piece is cut. And Alexis, if you'll turn it around, let them see the back side. Okay, real pretty, even look on the back side with a cross. And this is just a real neat trait. And then our next level blanket, John, do you have yours? I have one. Okay.
I didn't let go
Okay,
of it, I
hold
guess.
that one up for us, would you please? Okay, when we get to this level, what we try to do, and I believe Sarah did one like this as well, and it's where there are many little pieces that they put together and they get a pattern going. As you can see, this pattern is like a pinwheel that's turning. And then John went ahead and knotted it. What you would do with a blanket like this in other cases is literally quilt it on the inside, you know, the 1/4-inch stitch. But John would never have gotten any other projects done if he had done that. So what we let him do is that they piece it all together. It's called precision work, and then to knot it. So we have really 4 levels, and Sarah, if she could work it in, she'd get into another level of sewing, and John's going to hopefully take another level of sewing next year. So he's forced to. He's my nephew, but that's okay. Okay, and so Patty, I just want you to know how much we appreciate all you do for our community. You are a one special lady, and thank you for everything.
Well, thank you, Flo, very much, and it's always my pleasure to come here. You know, the kids are great. You don't always hear all that, but you know what? The kids at Jay County are awesome. Thank you very much.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose.
Thanks, Chloe.
I think John's blanket was the best.
So now, let's send it to E.T. with Sierra to hear about the latest DVD releases.
Thanks, guys. DVD releases today are Nemo 3D, Jack Reacher, starring Tom Cruise, Safe Haven, starring Josh Duhamel, and Mama, the American horror story about 2 young girls abandoned in a cabin forest and fostered by an unknown entity that they fondly call Mama, who eventually followed them to their new suburban home and caused a lot of trouble for everyone. In celeb birthdays today, Alex Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs is turning the big 3-0, and Alexander Ludwig from the Hunger Games turning 22. Now let's send it back to the hosts.
Thank you, Sierra.
Let's see what Jed has to say about the weather throughout the week. So let's send it over to Jed.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast. Today we have a high of 72 and a low of 52. Tomorrow we have a high of 73 and a low of 54. Thursday we have a high of 73 and a low of 57. Friday we have a high of 66 and a low of 55. And Saturday we have a high of 66 and a low of 43. Well, it looks like temperature's going to drop this weekend and we should be in for some showers. But that's all I have, so back to the hosts.
Jedi.
Birthdays for today are Ian Bence and Paige Blumenhorst. And lunch for tomorrow is turkey wrap, fruit, and milk.
Well, that's all we have for today, so see you later, Jay.
You stay classy, Jay County.
Yeah, stay classy. Something you do best.
Hey, I was born less than human. I know it sounds crazy, but I was really born a robot as a baby. No real life in me. I just played my role. No self-control, I just did what I was told. I got my first order, I was just a day old. But I didn't have a chance cause my heart was way cold. My heart took the orders, it couldn't break the mold. Sold under management, I couldn't take control. So I was just chilling.